Okay, we're going to have some fun tonight applying these holographic water slide transfers. So if you have one of these kits from me, you have an individual sheet with the water slides on them and the corresponding wood cutouts. Everything is matched up in advance, so you don't have to worry about any of that. I decided to use a little water-based stain before I applied the transfers. You do not have to do this step. I just thought it would add a nice touch to the back of the ornaments. So I'm just using this water-based stain. If you've used it before, you know it dries so quickly and it will soon be dry to the touch and ready to apply your transfers to the front of it. Okay, I'm going to cut out the individual tree, and I'm cutting off that top bow because it will not fit onto the wood cutout, but it can definitely be used for another project, so make sure you save that because you'll need it for something. Okay, so now you're going to take off that protective film. You will not need that again. So you have that pretty colorful holographic side and then the grayscale side. So you're going to apply that pretty colorful side face down on the front of your surface. So I'm just lining it up here, making sure that tree is covered by the water slide, and I'm going to maintain contact with my fingers as I flip it over and put it safely onto the tabletop. You have that grayscale to kind of give you a nice visual. So I'm going to spray it with some water, and then I'm going to apply some pressure for about 1 to 2 minutes. That's going to let that water slide adhere to your surface. You can go ahead and take a little peek, add some more water if you need it, and dab it again. I do like to use a little squeegee or a straight edge just to remove any excess water. Again, make sure you're keeping at least 1 or 2 fingers on that paper water slide just to keep it in place. So now I'm going to make sure it's adhering, and it is. So we're going to take that paper off, and we will not need that again. And you can see here it is nicely applied to the surface. You're just going to softly fold over any little excess onto the edges, and it will dry. You can give it a little pat with a paper towel or with your soft cloth if you want, but it will dry in no time at all. And you will be ready to go ahead and add extra details if you want. I decided to add a little bit of the chameleon waxes to the edge of the ornaments. But again, you do not need to do this step. I just had the waxes out, and I know they just correspond so nicely with the holographic water slides. These also dry really quickly, especially if you just use a little bit like I am here. There it is. Look how pretty. See how it catches the light? These are absolutely beautiful. So now I'm just going to get a little piece of string or twine and go ahead and thread it and make it into an ornament. You can string a bunch of them together to make a pretty garland, or you can tie them individually as ornaments. They're such a fun family project. You can write your kids' names on the back, or maybe you want to make a gift for your neighbor. And don't worry, I'm going to show you here. If you apply your water slide and it's a little bit off center, it's okay. You can use waxes, you can use paint, you can use whatever you want to just kind of embellish it. I'm using a dark green paint here, applying just a tiny little bit, and then you'll see I'm going to smudge and blend it slightly with my fingertip, and it's going to blend it nicely into that water slide. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So if you do apply it and it's a little bit off center, don't worry. A little paint, a little wax, whatever you want to do. So now I'm just going to leave you with this as I am doing some of the snow globes in case you have a snow globe kit. You're going to do the same process. Colorful side down onto your surface, just like that. You can also apply it that way if you prefer. I just kind of find it easier to apply it with either the surface down on a straight tabletop, or I'll hold it up close to my eye so I can see better. Either way, whatever you do, you just want to make sure you keep a finger or two on the paper. It's always a good idea to go ahead and peel back a corner of the paper just to make sure it is adhering before taking the entire piece off. And I do like this extra step of using a little straight edge as a squeegee. I do think it really helps ensure that you get any extra water out of there and that your holographic water slide does adhere really well to your surface. If you don't have ornaments, you can use these on any type of a wood surface, glass, metal, whatever you like. They'd make beautiful trays, they'd make beautiful plates. I just love them as ornaments though. Look at this. I can't wait to see this shimmer. A little slow motion just so you can see that light catch. And you can also use some gilding waxes if you don't want to use the chameleon waxes, or you don't want to use, or you can use a little paint, or you can leave them just as is. Just let your creativity out. And if you're doing this with your kids or your grandkids, they're going to have some super awesome ideas too. I'm going to show you some close-up photos here in just a minute. I hope you'll give these a try, and you can always message me if you have any questions. I'd love for you to give me a follow.